आप इतने साल क्यों लगे बोलने में? हमारी मजबूरियां थी, नहीं बोल पाए हम। आज हम बोले हैं, आप सुनिए, हमें न्याय दिवाइए। हमारी यही सरकार है, हमारी यही एक आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है। और एक बात और मैं बताना चाहूँगा, फिर उसने अपने बयान में एक और चीज बोली है कि हर एक महीने बाद 2 महीने बाद एक नई लड़की ले आते हैं। हम नहीं लेके आते हैं। आपने कितनी लड़कियों के साथ किया? वो लड़कियां हिम्मत करके आगे आ रही हैं। धन्यवाद आपको आने के लिए।
विनेश, आपने बताया नहीं।
Right, so we just heard all the wrestlers getting together as their protest is now entering the 7th day at Jantar Mantar. Having said that, the wrestlers have now targeted the Delhi police after the Supreme Court ordered the Delhi police to file an FIR. They are saying that power and electricity and even water supply has been cut off from Jantar Mantar, the site of their protest. They've now addressed a press conference where they've gone on to explain the kind of atrocities they have been facing while protesting at Jantar Mantar. They're saying that the Delhi police is particularly targeting them and that the government has not taken adequate action. They also went on to elaborate on what their angsts are against Brij Bhushan Singh and that they will still not be compromising with their protest and they will only stop once they see Brij Bhushan Singh behind bars. Having said that, we also heard what Sakshi Malik had to say. She's also talked about how girls in the Wrestling Federation have in fact been, the female wrestlers have been targeted by Brij Bhushan Singh. At the same time, let's also play out a reaction of Brij Bhushan.
मैं पूरी तरह से निर्दोष हूं और इन आरोपों का सामना करने के लिए तैयार हूं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से ऊपर इस देश के अंदर कोई नहीं हो सकता है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आदेश सर्वमान्य है। इन्होंने जिन बच्चों को पहले पेश किया है, कोई नाबालिग मैं नहीं जानता, एक ऐसा हवा में निकल करके आ रहा है कि उसमें से कोई नाबालिग है, तो मेरा सवाल यह है कि उसको जांच कमेटी के सामने क्यों नहीं पेश किया गया? क्यों पीड़न देश के अन्य खिलाड़ियों के साथ क्यों नहीं होता है? केवल एक ही अखाड़ा और एक ही फैमिली, एक अखाड़ा एक फैमिली, बाकी हरियाणा का 90% खिलाड़ी और 90% गार्जियन ब्रिज भूषण सिंह के साथ है। मैं शुरू से कह रहा हूं कि इसमें एक उद्योगपति का हाथ है, कांग्रेस का हाथ है। मैं शुरू से इस बात को बोल रहा हूं।
So Brij Bhushan Singh over there accusing the Congress party and also crying foul that this perhaps has an involvement of an entrepreneur as well. In fact, let's quickly go across to our reporter Nikhil, who's been tracking this story for us. Nikhil, you know, the fight between both the sides, whether it's Brij Bhushan Singh or the wrestlers, couldn't get more stark than this. And going by the press conference that's just been addressed by the wrestlers today, it only seems like they're being targeted by the Delhi police.
Well, the allegation and the counter allegation continues to take place after the press conference which was held today, this morning by Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is facing many of the allegations. He has, made some of the counter allegation on the wrestlers. He has been saying that just because they do not agree with the newly inducted policy that every player, no matter how big they are, they have to play the nationals. This is the reason why this kind of controversy is being unfolded at the Jantar Mantar site here in the national capital. And he has also said that the Gandhi family, in fact, the Congress party has no idea as to what this conspiracy is all about, because Deepika Hooda and the particular group from the Haryana state, they are the one who are instigating these wrestlers. So this is what is being said time and again by Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh in his defense, and he has also made it very clear that he has some of the audio tape in which it can be heard clearly that the wrestlers, before sitting or before resuming their protest yet again at the Jantar Mantar side, they tried to dial to some of the people for managing some of the girls who could make some of the allegations against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. So this is also something which he made the allegation against wrestlers, for which the clarification is now out from this particular side. The wrestlers, particularly the Bajrang Punia, he has been saying that now is the time time when many of the wrestlers, many of the victims, so to say, they have collected their guts. This is the reason why they are now coming out in the public platform, and they have gathered all the courage to finally complain with the Delhi police. But if we go by the overall details, we have mentioned this, Akanksha, earlier as well, that 2 of the FIRs have already been filed, one under the case of the POXO and another under these relevant sections, because the complainant is, they fall in the adult category. So 2 of the FIRs have been registered. Now is the time when the statement of all the parties, be it the victim side, be it the accused side, it is going to be recorded. But it is something which needs to be seen as to when the police is going to record the statement of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, because he continues to stay at the location of Uttar Pradesh. So it will be a matter of something for the development as to will he be coming here in the national capital of Delhi, or the Delhi police is going to dispatch one of the team to Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. This is something that we have to wait for, but the sections are gradually coming out as per the Delhi police. One is the FIR, which is POXO, which we have mentioned a while back. Another is the section which has been imposed, if we go by the details, section 354, section 354A, section 354D, section 34 as well. So there are a couple of sections which have been pressed in against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. And also, if you go by the details, Akanksha, yesterday when the hearing was underway at the Apex Court, at that time, the security concerns were also raised by the council from the wrestler side as to there is some of the threat to these wrestlers. So the Delhi police is also in the process of carrying out the threat perception, and based on such report, they will be providing adequate security if need be to any of the complainant who have come out or who have gone to the Delhi police. Back to you, Akanksha.
It's interesting you mentioned the point of as far as threat perception is concerned and providing adequate security. That was one instruction. We've seen how Bajrang Punia in fact took to the internet and went on to claim that power and electricity and water supply had been cut off from the protest side. He also claimed that members of his group were being barred from bringing food for the wrestlers who were protesting at the site. What's being done about it now at Jantar Mantar?
Well, this is some of the serious allegation which has been made by the protesters. In fact, late night they had spoken to one of the news agencies where they have mentioned that the basic necessities which are required to carry on with the protest, it is also being denied by the administration, by the local police as well, which is deployed right outside and inside and outside the perimeter of the Jantar Mantar. But the official statement is awaited from the Delhi police side as to why these kind of concerns are being raised. But yesterday as well, when Saurabh Bharadwaj from the Aam Aadmi Party, who is the MLA from that party, he visited the wrestlers. At that time as well, he clearly mentioned to these wrestlers that these are the kind of obstruction which will be made by the government, by the administration, and this is how it is done when if any of the group sit on the protest against the current dispensation. So such is the kind of allegation which is now being leveled by the protesters. They are saying that even the mattresses which were required, even the basic necessities like the chairs, the coolers as well, the table fans as well, it is also being denied for entrance inside this particular parameter. The Delhi police would better be able to tell it as to why they are doing so. But these are the scenes. At the same time, I would urge my camera person, Wahid, to keep showing you the 360-degree view of the pictures here at the Jantar Mantar. You can see there that the gathering, Akanksha, is gradually increasing, and this is something which we were saying yesterday as well, that gradually as the days are passing by, the momentum is being gained by the wrestlers' protest, not just from the sports fraternity, but also the attention has been given from the political spectrum as well. What TMC, what Aam Aadmi Party, in fact the delegation has been visited by the Congress Party as well. So major of the opposition parties, they are gradually sending their delegation to meet the protesting wrestlers here, which is also increasing their morale, because earlier when they started the protest, only few people were seen here, but now they are getting attention from all the corner, which is surely going to give them the required boost. Or at the same time, we would also like to inform our viewers that at about 4 p.m. today, Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, he is expected to visit and to meet these protesting wrestlers as well. So in a way also, all the political party, major of the opposition party, they have extended their support to these wrestlers. So this is the scene. Today is first day of the weekend, so we can see that many of the local people as well, they have gathered here. So not just the Khap Panchayats not just the local, leaders of Haryana, but the nearby people. They have also come here to see as to what exactly is happening at the site of Jantar Mantar, and the new banners as well. They have also been pasted to, give a track record as to from which date the protest actually started. It mentions that from 23rd of April, the protest had started at the site of the Jantar Mantar. So now is the time when we are expecting that some kind of development which will come from the side of the Delhi police when they will begin with their investigation. But we have already mentioned about the sections which have been invoked by the Delhi police against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. Back to you.
Absolutely, Nikhil. Thank you for bringing in all those details. And since you said that this protest has in fact entered the 7th day and much is in fact yet to happen, as we all are aware that the Delhi CM is also expected to visit the protest site at 4 p.m. today. We'll keep coming back to you, Nikhil. Thank you for now. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching CNN News 18.
In Bidar, and he started off by talking about the double engine Sarkar, visuals of that roadshow there on your screen there, and he was talking about the need for BJP to continue in the state, asked for a majority and a thumping majority this time around. The question was, will he be countering Mallikarjun Kharge's remark? Remember, just a couple of days ago, a remark was made by Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress chief, calling PM Modi a poisonous snake, shortly while after he did clarify, saying he was talking about the BJP's ideology, but by then the damage was done. It was left to see if the Prime Minister would be addressing that, and indeed the Prime Minister very much did. In fact, let's listen in to a short soundbite from that rally he addressed today.
अभी इस चुनाव में भी कांग्रेस ने फिर से मुझे गालियां देने का काम शुरू कर दिया है। मैंने देखा किसी ने उन गालियों की लिस्ट बनाई है और वो गालियों की लिस्ट मुझे दी है। अब तक मुझे ये कांग्रेस के लोगों ने 91 टाइम अलग अलग गालियां दी है। अरे कांग्रेस ने ये गालियों की डिक्शनरी में टाइम खराब करने के बजाय अगर इतनी मेहनत उन्होंने गुड गवर्नेंस के लिए की होती, कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ताओं का उत्साह बढ़ाने के लिए किया होता, तो आज कांग्रेस की ऐसी दुर्दशा न होती, ऐसी दयनीय स्थिति नहीं आती। लेकिन साथियों, जो भी गरीब के लिए काम करता है, जो देश के लिए काम करता है, उसे अपमानित करना ये कांग्रेस का इतिहास है। मैं अकेला नहीं हूं जिस पर इस तरह के हमले किए गए। आपको मालूम है, पिछले चुनाव में चौकीदार चोर चलाया, फिर आगे बढ़ गए मोदी चोर चलाया, फिर पूरा ओबीसी समाज चोर है चलाया, और अभी तो चुनाव की शुरुआत हुई कर्नाटका में, और मेरे लिंगायत भाइयों बहनों को भी चोर कहने की हिम्मत कर दी। जब ये लोग मुझे गाली देते हैं, अब इतनी गालियां हो गई 91, और उनके टॉप मोस्ट नेता देते रहे, कोई ऐसे नहीं छोटे मोटे कार्यकर्ता नहीं। एक बार खुद बाबा साहब ने सार्वजनिक तौर पर विस्तार से बताया था कि कांग्रेस उन्हें बार बार गालियां देती है। कांग्रेस ने बाबा साहब को क्या क्या नहीं कहा। कांग्रेस बाबा साहब को राक्षस, राष्ट्रद्रोही, दगाबाज दोस्त, आप सुनकर के हैरान हो जाएंगे। उस जमाने में बाबा साहब जैसे महापुरुष को कांग्रेस ने ऐसी ऐसी गालियां दी थी। कितने ही अपमानजनक शब्दों से वो आए दिन बाबा साहब को अपमानित करते थे। आज भी हम लोग देखते हैं कि कांग्रेस कैसे वीर सावरकर जी को गालियां देती रहती है। अब बाबा साहब वीर सावरकर की तरह अगर वो मोदी को गाली देते हैं तो मैं तो इसे उपहार मानता हूं और कांग्रेस गाली देने में समय बर्बाद करती रहेगी। मैं जनता जनार्दन की सेवा में अपने आप को खपाता रहूंगा। कर्नाटका को डबल इंजन सरकार चाहिए ताकि कर्नाटका कांग्रेस का एटीएम नहीं बल्कि देश का ग्रोथ इंजन बना रहे।
Hello, how was your week and what are your usual plans for weekend? Well, the heat is on and it's better to either watch a movie in a theatre or watch a web series at home. Whatever you watch, just make sure it's worth your time. I'm Atika Faruqi. Well, I have a few things really nice for you in the next half an hour. If you are a cinema lover like me and love all aspects of it, then this should be fun for you. So let's begin with the highlights. PS2 is a visual marvel which may need a keen eye and an alert mind to not miss anything as the plot is crowded. Deepika talks about life learnings and how she interprets Rumi's famous quotes in a throwback interview. Tigmanshu Dhulia, the much-loved director, starts off his web series Garmi with a conversation with me. And the director of Bunty Bubbly 2, Varun Sharma, on that one film that changed his life. Ponniyin Selvan 2, based on an adaptation of Kalki's magnum opus by director Mani Ratnam, B. Jayamohan and Elango Kumaravel, takes some liberties with the much-loved literary work. In the first film, Mani vehemently stayed faithful to Kalki Krishnamurthy's book, which came at the cost of the film being called choppy. But this time, the overall impact of the construct is accentuated by Ratnam's firm grasp on the technical aspects and the romanticism in drama. In the second part, he is bolder and deviates majorly from the books. Here, Mani Ratnam, the filmmaker, is more faithful to his craft than to the written material. This makes Ponniyin Selvan 2 better cinema and superior to its first part. The film opens with a mesmerizing prologue, a flashback to Aditya Karikalan, played by Vikram, and Nandini, played by Aishwarya, their teen years. This scene needs a lot of creativity and Mani makes it fairy tale-like, setting the film in such exotic locations and makes you buy his imagination of Chola dynasty. We see rivers and forests and caves and rustic beauty of nature. What you see will mesmerize you. After showing what happened to Nandini, the film resumes the story of Arul Mozi Varman. He is now severely ill. He is taken to a Buddhist monastery where he can be cured. Meanwhile, Nandini, along with Pandyans, decide to kill Sundara Cholar, played by Prakash Raj, and Aditya Karikalan on the same day.
मारेंगे चोल वंश को जड़ से मिटा देंगे.
Aditya Karikalan, even after knowing about the ploy of Nandini, goes to Kadambur fort for a final showdown with his only love of his life. Vikram and Aishwarya bring about all the complexities of this love-hate relationship, which is a passionate and a revengeful affair. The scene is the catharsis of all the drama in the film, and I must tell you, it's a beautiful scene. It is hard to fathom how someone who hasn't read the book will follow the story. Ponniyin Selvan doesn't have a conventional film structure because with so many storylines and so many subplots, it's difficult to keep abreast with the connections and the developments. It's difficult, but you can do it. It ends up being a little messy and hard to catch up. However, look at how brilliantly Mani Ratnam achieves the essence of each character with a few short scenes. With at least 100 characters, you love and appreciate each one of them's presence. At nearly 3-hour runtime, the film is a treat for the eye. Cinematographer Ravi Varman composes frames that capture the expanse of the locations. Some scenes will play in my mind for a really long time. The quality of the performances that the director extracts from the actors is very consistent. Vikram's powerful presence and Nandini lose no opportunity to make their presence felt. Overall, watch it in your own language. It's a stunning film that needs a lot of attention and detail. Nazar hati, durghatna ghati. It's a visual marvel, a passion project of Mani Ratnam that deserves to be watched for the sheer detail to which it goes. Up next, we have Deepika talking to me about mental health, philosophy of her life, and how she identifies with some of the most famous quotes by the philosopher and poet Rumi in this throwback interview with me. Rumi says, as you start to walk, the way appears. I follow that too. You must follow that too. Here is a very enriching and a very deep conversation with the leading actress of our times. Your personality is not just work, Deepika. You've gone beyond it. With your organization, your initiative, Live, Love, Laugh Foundation, the World Economic Forum has given her a Crystal Award for just raising so much awareness about mental health. I went to your website also and learned a lot of things.
Thank you.
Firstly, thank you for doing this. In a world where everybody has to act strong, look good, everything has to be prim and proper, you chose to unravel yourself, unwrap yourself, and that is so brave. That is so brave. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
Firstly, Rumi says, very famously, as you start to walk on the way appears. Why is self-help the best help, Deepika?
When you learn from your own journey, from your own experiences, from your own mistakes, there's no greater learning than that. And I'm just talking from my own experience, you know, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's in my professional life. Take my professional life, for example. You know, I came into the industry with no sort of padding, godfather. You know, I was literally thrown into the deep end. I remember Farah and Shah Rukh both telling me that we're always here for you. And I was like, they're just saying it out of formality. What do you mean you're always here for me? And I kind of felt like I was now on my own. And I now had to take my steps forward, just exactly like Rumi says. Just
as you start to work.
Yeah, just discovering it as I went along. And today, when I've walked quite a lot of that journey, it's now easier for me to look back in hindsight and say, wow, you know, I could have gotten lost. I'm sure I got lost along the way. Of course I have, not sure, I have gotten lost along the way. But I think that's what enriched my life. It enriched my mind, it enriched my soul. And all of those experiences and that journey of walking alone and discovering as you go along has brought me to where I am today.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Gehraiyan, while I was watching, and I could see that you didn't have to use glycerin in that, because I see your emotions swell up from inside.
Of course, and that's what I say. I mean, even as an actor, my endeavor always is to just to try and be as honest as possible, and the camera picks up everything. And yes, there will be days when, you know, where it will happen, but there could be days where you don't.
Where you don't, true, true.
Know? And but that's the exciting part of being an actor. The second part of your question, why be imprisoned when you can...
Have you felt like you were in a prison?
Of course, of course. Again, at so many levels, you know, whether it was me battling mental illness, whether it was me struggling with my identity, when I spoke about that, you know, when that period when I felt lost and I was struggling with who am I and who is it that I want to be. All of these things make you, you know, it's so true to the quote that you just read out. But what I also realized, and more so through the journey of this film, is that people also don't voluntarily choose, or at least most people don't voluntarily choose to be imprisoned. A lot of times you're imprisoned because
you're conditioned to be imprisoned.
Because either you're conditioned to be imprisoned, or your circumstances force you to be imprisoned, or you don't have the strength or the courage to step outside of that prison. And I've had this beautiful experience of coming out, and it's so liberating.
It is.
And my life has only gotten better from there.
Rumi says, set your life on fire, seek those who fan your flames. It's important to surround yourself with people who fan your flames, who make you better each day.
We're talking
What
about?
makes you burn every day? It's a lot of hard work, being a producer or
Today,
actor so much.
Yeah, it's purpose. If I had to sum it up, today it's just you're given and you work to get to a place, and you're given this opportunity to be able to impact and to touch people's lives through my work or otherwise. And so for me, if I didn't do that, I feel like that's an opportunity wasted.
Yeah.
You know, so I really do wake up every morning thinking, how can I do things differently from the way they have been done historically? Everything that I do today is driven by meaning and by purpose, and is to make things better from where they already are.
Rumi says, respond to every call that excites your spirits. So where all have you invested yourself financially, emotionally and physically? One of them is the foundation, your own production house, your acting. Anything else?
Myself.
Ah, self-care.
Self-care. So myself, my friends and family, and then my experiences with them. It could be individual experiences, it could be experiences with my spouse, it could be experiences with my family, experiences with my friends, and also just time for myself, like to nurture myself. I think that's so important, especially in our profession. We're constantly putting ourselves out there and constantly available to people around us. And I think it's extremely important, and there's nothing selfish about it, to nurture yourself and to make time for yourself.
Rumi says, whatever you do, wherever you are, be in love.
Yes, absolutely. That quote, in fact, I came across recently. He's just been a silent spectator